Hey friends, it's great to see you all back here. Welcome back to Sunshine Facts Today, your go-to channel for all things intriguing and mysterious. Today, we're diving into the enigmatic world of Cassiopeia 7, a TikTok user who has captivated thousands with her mysterious content. Now known as SaveC7in on TikTok, Cassiopeia 7's account has been a source of fascination for many. She has been documenting something truly extraordinary: her communications with an entity she refers to as Entity 7. These communications are not just recent, they date back to 2013, making this an almost decade-long mystery. Yes, you heard that right. This has been going on for nearly a decade, since 2013. Intrigued? Me too. So, let's delve deeper into what we know about Cassiopeia 7's account. Cassiopeia 7, who now goes by Save7, has amassed a significant following on TikTok. Her account, which has undergone a few username changes, now boasts over 48,000 followers. And that's not all. She has nearly 170,000 likes on her videos. That's a lot of people tuning into these eerie transmissions. In her profile bio, she admits, "I don't know what I'm doing." But it seems like her followers are hooked, eagerly awaiting each new post. Despite her own uncertainty, her audience is captivated. Her followers are deeply engaged, often discussing theories and speculations in the comments. One of the most intriguing aspects of her account is a playlist titled The 7 Transcripts. This playlist reportedly contains 17 posts, each documenting her interactions with Entity 7. I managed to gather all the videos with the documentation of Cassiopeia 7's communication, and I will show you them all 17 documents. But from what I gathered, these videos are supposed to document her communications with Entity 7. And that's where things get even more mysterious. Entity 7, what is it? Who is it? According to Cassiopeia 7, this entity has been in contact with her for over a decade. That's a long time to maintain any form of communication, let alone with an unknown entity. But here's the catch. More investigation is needed. We need to dive deeper into her TikTok content, maybe even check out the link in her bio. The link leads to a link tree, which might have some external resources or more clues. So, mystery enthusiasts, if you're as curious as I am, I encourage you to explore her TikTok account. See what you can uncover. Maybe together, we can piece together the puzzle of Entity 7. And don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you want more mysterious stories like this. Thanks for watching Sunshine Facts. Stay curious and stay mysterious. See you in the next video.
Hi guys, so this might be really stupid, but this was the only way I could think of to quickly but efficiently get through 12 years of conversations with 7, so please bear with me. This might not work. I've only got 10 minutes for each video, so I'm gonna see how many pages of conversations I can get through in that time. So let's see. So like I said before, our first conversation with 7 took place on July 5th, 2013. We had been asking kind of traditional Ouija board questions like, is there anyone here who would like to speak with us? What do you have to say? And this hello there came through. We said, hello, what's your name? It said 7, and we were immediately freaked out because that's a spooky kind of, scary movie name. We asked, is that your nickname? And it said, no, my name. And being spooked, we asked, are you good? And it wrote yes. And we, not believing him, said, are you lying? And it said no. And then, here we kind of started asking the typical Ouija board questions. When were you born? When did you die? How long have you been dead? Etc. And this is where 7 gave us that block of backwards text. And at the time, we thought it was just kind of nonsense. Now, of course, looking back, we understand he was writing not born, birth no, God is good, and then something we've never been able to decipher. But everything was moving very fast and very smooth, and the letters were very clear, and we realized it was trying to say something, so we kept going, and it gave us another block of nonsense. But obviously we saw the word devil, we got spooked. But here, this is where I noticed, it was the exact repeated letters in the exact same order. And I knew something was up. And to clarify, the plain text here, that's when a human is asking a question. It was originally a group of us, so I'm not specifying who is asking what, but just know this plain text is a human asking a question, and the bold capitals are 7. Italics are notes. So you're right. So, okay, I see that the not born is repeated, and I'm beginning to catch on, like something's up here. So I ask, what is this repetition? It doesn't make sense. The only thing that does make sense is the word devil, and that's scary. Are you trying to say something? It said yes, went to the yes on the Ouija board. Then it wrote out mirror. And that's when I realized I knew to read it backwards. And I realized everything it was saying, and I realized it had been speaking backwards to us. And so I knew that the next letters here were going to be EH because it was spelling help me. So that's what I guessed. It said yes, and I said, get off the board. This thing is speaking backwards. We didn't get back on the board until 2 days later because we were very scared. So July 7th, 2013, the planchette begins moving almost immediately. It writes out hello there backwards. We say, is this 7? And it writes yes. And we say, we're very scared about all of this. And it says, sorry for scaring you, but you mustn't be. And then we start asking about some stuff that we'd noticed being moved in the house, like the perfume bottle. And 7 comes clean right away. Yes, it moved the perfume bottle. And then it confessed to something else that it moved that I hadn't really noticed. And the light face up. So I ask light, what light? And it says the many-armed light. So that didn't really make sense to me. And then it started trying to say something that I think we recorded, perhaps incorrectly. But then it came back. It saw that I wasn't registering, and it said many armed lights face up. So I used to have one of those pink Medusa lights with the bulbs. They were always kind of like splayed out. They had been kind of bundled up almost in like a flat, like a tulip, kind of like gathered together. So that was 7 moving something in our house. We kept going in the conversation. We said, you said help me the first time we talked. What do you need our help with? And it wrote speak. And then it wrote something that I don't know if we recorded it incorrectly or if we were just like not connecting the dots properly, but I've never quite known what it was trying to say here. And here I point out that, so it was originally a group of us in the first conversations with 7. And just for privacy purposes, I've redacted like identifications. Is it okay that purple is not here? And 7 said, no, purple is needed. So and then a random Q, again, don't know what that means. And I said, is it okay that, the rest of us are here? They said yes. And I said, well, 7, purple is just really, really scared. And 7 said, purple is scared. Why? I am 7. And I said, they live alone. They don't do well with this kind of stuff. And then orange in our group said, this is bad. 7's bad. And 7 writes, orange, I am good. And then green in our group begins to laugh, and 7 writes, green, stop laughing. So it's actually using their names here on the board, which, we had never formally introduced ourselves, but I guess it doesn't matter because I think 7 hears everything. So we freaked out, say, what are you? And it says 7. And, we say, that doesn't make sense to us. 7 is just a number between 6 and 8. And the planchette does just that. It moves to 6, then 8, then 7. And so here we kind of just start telling 7 a story that I guess he'd overheard this conversation. But this is where the squirrels thing started. A lot of you guys have noticed that 7 once talked about, a few times has talked about squirrels. This is where that began. We told 7 that, yesterday we were talking about the squirrels in the backyard and how they're always so scared of humans, even though we obviously mean them no harm, but they always run away. And maybe we are being like squirrels in this situation, running away from 7. 7 writes stupid, which, 7 can be a little sassy sometimes. But at this point, we're pretty scared. And we ask, if we decide we don't want this, we don't want you around, would you go away? Would you stop? And 7 says, do you not want me? Why? And we explain, we're scared. We have a lot going on in our lives. And we don't really know if we have time for a demon haunting us. 7 then says, speak. And then open doors, invite strangers, which we've never understood. Is it a directive, like telling us to open doors and invite strangers? Or is it just a statement of fact that an open door will invite a stranger? I don't know. So we explained, yes, we did open a door. We're sorry if we played with something we shouldn't have. We did this for entertainment. And 7 wrote entertainment. And we asked again, would you go away if we wanted you to? And 7 said, I like you, but you want me gone. Sad 7. And then the letters T-E, which I don't know what those mean. And then he says, I had answers for humanity. So obviously we're scared. Very scared, because these are very spooky things to say on a Ouija board. But we ask, why us? And it says timing. And then again, it repeats Green's name on the board. We say, are you going to hurt us? And it writes, stupid waste if I can destroy all. Squirrel. Orange is still spooked and asks, are you going to stop moving things in my house? And 7 clarifies, my house. And so we then kind of have this existential conversation of like, is everything is 7's technically, and is this Sugar's his, and Green's shirt? Yes. Do we belong to you? Yes. Do you belong to us? Yes. Do you love us? Not that small love. What do you need help saying? What message can we send to the world? That all must stop or Earth will die. What must stop? Stupid. But lots of things are stupid, we say, and we don't get an answer to that. And then here, it's interesting. So I don't know if this is like us recording this incorrectly, or are we not putting together the right dots, but fear, help me, green, me, timing, open doors. So green should share you with the world. All should share green. What should green do? We ask, a play, a movie, a book, whatever. Green, invite to share me. So here we had to sign off because we had plans that day. We were going to go to the beach, which seems really stupid. 7 then goes, really pink, and the planchette rolls over goodbye. So very sassy sign off. And then when we get back on later that day, 7 picks up where we left off. How was the beach? So that's all I have time for. I got through 2-ish conversations. I will try to make another update very, very soon. So stay tuned for part 2, I guess. Okay, part 2, picking up where we left off, July 7th, 2013. I'm going to try to move a little faster than I did last time, and I apologize in advance for any noise in my house. It's very noisy right now. Okay, 7 asks, how was the beach? We say it was good. We went swimming and fishing, and it was fun, whatever. Why no purple? Purple says, I'm here, 7. I'm just scared. Needn't fear. Fear controls weak. Cut out the fear. H, which I think might have just been a typo on our part. We came with pre-written questions, so we went ahead and started asking those with 7's blessing. Do you need the board to talk, the Ouija board? It is a tool. Why are you just now moving stuff like lights and perfume bottles? Like, why are you doing this? Test. A test of what? Our strength? Yes. Do you protect us? No. You are alone. And then here, you'll see this come up again. So pay attention to these numbers because it kind of always comes in this context. 4, 6, 7, Earths 7, 8 remain, I am 7. Earths are alive. We ask, where are you? And again, kind of the same sort of numbers. I think this was meant to be all because we see this again. We'll see it later. But we wrote down AKK. There were once 4, 5, 6, 7 Earths. I am 7th, all. And we keep going with our pre-written questions. Is there a God? No. If there's no God, how are we talking to you? There is a power more than God, but God is good. And then here, I think it was trying to say something that we'll see later in this conversation, but this is what we wrote down. PLASEFF, experiment, FAH, maybe a J or a K. Again, I think this was us writing it down wrong. Continuing with our pre-written questions, we asked, if you have power, why can't you save the earth? Why do you need us? It says, ask better, jump, throw down fear. So we say it's hard to be strong. We're scared. It says, yes. And then here we ask specifically, when you say we have to change things for the earth, we have to save the earth, do you mean global warming and recycling and, saving the polar bears? It says no. Then we ask nuclear war, and it says yes. And then based on some of the stuff it had said in the previous conversations, we ask, should green go into politics? No. And it writes purple. Purple should go into politics. Is there a devil? Yes. How can there be a devil if there's no God? In your mind. We say, do you mean fear? Yes. Should we fear death? Yes. Why? It's boring, which is kind of a classic 7 answer. And then we say, but how do you know? If you've never been born, you've never died, how do you know what death is like? I know. So then we decided to ask kind of a fun, silly question that maybe something only omnipotent would know. And we ask, where is Atlantis? And it starts off saying near Crete at, and then it says no Atlantis, myth. And we said, but why did you say it's near Crete? You would believe. So we say, you think we're gullible. Fun. And this, much like the word squirrel, is, oh, has that not been framed the whole time? I'm sorry, guys. Fun is a word that we see 7 say a lot. So this is the first time we're seeing fun. And we say, we're going out on a limb here. We're trying to be brave. We're trusting you to tell us the truth and, not play with us. 7 says sorry, which is very polite. And we say, how can we be sure of what you're saying and the things you're telling us? Nothing I say can be sure. Then how do we know we should trust you? And it says, trust me. And so that is something, again, we see a lot with 7 where it doesn't give us exact specific things, but it's just saying, just have trust, just have faith. Like I can't tell you more than that, but kind of what he's saying. Anyway, we ask, why did you speak backwards? And it said test. So here we continue with our pre-written, very stupid questions. I really can't believe we asked these questions. They're so dumb. Do mermaids exist? No. Did dinosaurs exist? Yes. Do aliens exist? Yes. We should probably ask better questions. This is where we realize these are stupid. It says probably. Here we start talking amongst ourselves. What should we ask next? We'd kind of been discussing we should ask a question about, some mystery from the past. And 7 writes this out. WHASF. Which again, I'm not sure what that means. Maybe a typo on our end. Then it almost goes to write an asp kill. Then it says Cleopatra died by a knife. And we said, what? I thought she died from, an asp bite. Myth. Who killed her? Centos. And here we laugh and we say, was Centos just some random guy from history that nobody knows anything about? Yes. So it's part 1 of the strange Cleopatra information, but we keep going here and we're not sure what to ask. And 7 just kind of starts saying this. So again, here, those are those numbers again, 8 earths, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We say, what is your relationship with these other earths? Friends. The next step. And we ask, are we going to blow ourselves up? So we're coming back to the nuclear war threat. Probably. And again, we don't really know how to respond in the moment. We're pretty young and during this time and stupid. And, it's kind of, we don't know what any of this is. So we're not asking good questions. So don't judge us too hard here. Okay. So we ask a personal question. Is it okay that purple works at blank right now? Yes. How long should they continue working there? Until fear is dead. And then 7 kind of loops it back to this thing it's trying to say. And that's why I think earlier the AKK, I think it was trying to say all, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I think, this is us retroactively trying to figure out where the words and the letters connect. What word is it trying to spell? Ultimately, I think what it was trying to say is 0 remain sad 7. So that's my interpretation. But these are the letters we got. And we say, what should blank do? Religion. Anew. To lead. Green create, pink lead, purple allows. And to this day, it's very unclear what these things mean. Very abstract. We never quite figured it out. Hopefully we've accidentally done the right things. But anyway, we asked, is it good that these are our roles? 7 said, I think it was trying to say, I think so. Unavoidable. How does pink lead? Through love. So this is something we've seen. Leading through love comes up later. What should orange do? Listen. Is this the last time we can speak to you? I don't know why we asked that, but I don't know. Yes. And we say why, and 7 says, I feel like it, which we know didn't end up being true. Can you give us an equation or a formula to share with the world, something science-based? Greens, which we don't know what that means. Are you Earth? In a way. And then here it comes back again. The experiment must not fail. One of us asks, how did you know my real name? I listen. Can you hear everything we say? Unavoidable. Do you hear everything at all times? Yes. Well, that must be so obnoxious. It must be awful. Yes. Kind of nonsense stuff, back and forth. Are you a girl or a boy? Neither. Here we talk about wanting to know something else from history. Fun. Fun? Who's funny? Who's funny? Me. And this is part 2 of the Cleopatra factoids. Was Cleopatra nice? And 7 writes this word, which I probably shouldn't say on TikTok for fear of this video getting taken down. But we kind of laugh and we're like, that's not very nice. And it says fun. So again, I don't know if is 7 just being silly? Is this real? We don't know. So here's where it gets serious again. What is the meaning of life? To find that, I think you can find few do. Many fail. So this part goes really, really fast. 7 says, please do not fail me. Sad 7, save us. There was a long silence here. We're not sure what to do or what to say. It moved really, really fast. 7 says, thank you. Farewell backwards. And then we go over goodbye. And we don't get back on until the 24th of July, and that's where we have the alarm clock going off by itself. So stay tuned for Awaken. Okay, so very sorry for the delay. There's just been a lot of life stuff going on, and I hadn't had a moment to sit down and do this, but I'm going to try to move very quickly because this one's kind of long. Part 3, the third conversation, takes place July 24th, 2013, and it begins with 7 spelling out the word awaken backwards. And when it gets to this final A here, our alarm clock went off. I talked about this in one of my early videos, but very spooky. That's probably the spookiest thing that's really happened that we can't really explain in any way, shape, or form because our alarm clock was not set. So anyway, why fear? Squirrel. Why do you spell squirrel that way? This is how we spell it. Unneeded or you needed letters. 7. So again, this squirrel thing is an ongoing kind of meme with 7. Are you able to touch us? Yes. Would you touch us right now? No. Why? Unneeded. So I explained we're back here again. We felt like we asked really bad questions and our answers had a lot of holes. Yes. How many planets are left? 8. 8 in the beginning? No. 8. That's its name, 8. Silly. 8. Who's silly? You. Could we talk to you every day? Should not. Why? Too much rewap, which is obviously power backwards. Are you sure you're good? Yes. 8. So this is where, if you watch part 2, you'll know about the numbers that you're about to see here. They're going to be familiar to you, but we started feeling like the planchette wanted to do something abnormal. So we asked, should we let the planchette do this? Yes. 8. 8. So the planchette kind of moved sideways, and I've kind of drawn it out here what it did. and it covered 4, 5, 6, 7, and pointed to 8. 7 writes then silly. So we're trying to make sense of this. All of the planets, 4, 5, 6, 7, are 1 and end in 8? No. The planet then again wants to move to the side, and it covers up the 9 and the 0, pointing to 8. Then it goes to 8. 8 remain. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. So if you watch part 2, we saw these numbers in some of that conversation. The planet again covers up 9 and 0, points to 8. Sideways 8, infinity. That was our guess, kind of like thinking of the infinity symbol. Silly. Us? Yes. 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 0. 8, 7, 8. The planet again covers 9 and 0, points to 8. And we said, how come you're not writing 1, 2, 3? 1, 2, 3. Were it originally to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it would scare you all away. Go on and on. So none of this makes any sense to us. It really, to this day, it still doesn't. So the planets were infinite and went on, and only 8 are left? 8. Sad 7. 8 remain. And was each one destroyed by stupid? Which is, again, recalling our conversation from part 2. No. Bad luck for 741. 741 was killed by 741's star. 741 is a planet? Yes. I am 7. 741 was 741. 741's star. Its sun killed it? Yes. Accident. How do we know that we will die from nuclear war? 8 remain. So here we talk amongst ourselves, and a lot of this it's hard to recall sometimes what spurred 7's answer, because I typed all this up after the fact. So I'm trying to recall what exactly our questions were. And even in the moment, sometimes we lose track of what it was that we asked. So we thought we asked, how does it know we'll die from nuclear war? 7 says, no, that was not the question. No. A, I don't know what that means. Should we refrain from 2-part questions? Yes. Were you answering the last part? Yes. And it's nuclear power we should worry about? Yes. The main thing we should worry about? No. People. Like, I probably shouldn't say this word on TikTok, but those don't kill people, people kill people? Yes. The people who control the nukes? Yes. So here, kind of, I've talked about this in one of my previous videos, but I think this might have been a bit of a typo here. It was clearly trying to say something and it kept doubling back. And it looks like it ended up, this is what it ultimately was trying to say here. That power took 947-632 to the stars. 947-342 died by such a rewap or power. 947-632 flied to God. And we said, why do you keep spelling power backwards? Fun. And then here, again, not entirely sure what we asked, but something about why not yet, the odds of 8 out of infinity remaining, why has it taken us so long? Are we good? Something like that. No, you were late. We should have blown ourselves up already. Just on track. Why are we late? Plague. What about the plague? Slowed. Just on track again. Did you give us the plague? No. Are humans inherently destructive? Yes. Do we just keep repeating history? Yes. Something about whether, I think 7 had tried to contact people on different Earths. I'm not sure. Failure. Something about the hardest. I don't even know what that means now. I have no idea what that means. What were we talking about? No. 947-631 tried. So this is a new number. This is a third number. Did they put their nuclear weapons in space? In a way. This is like another, just like squirrel and fun. 7 says, in a way, a lot. So, in a way. 947-632 tried. So here we get confused and we're like, there's 3 numbers on deck. Is that right? 7 says no. Elbow. So clearly we got something wrong. We try to figure out then which numbers should we cross out. It wasn't 947-342. What about 947-632? No. 947631, yes. So that was the number we, didn't count, shouldn't be there. Ask again. And here he spells our names out. The green, pink, orange, purple tried. 947632 happy. 1 success. And kind of like a typo or something. We, for some reason, asked, do you need a break? Why do you keep spelling things wrong? I guess we think that 7 is tired or something. I don't know. We're very dumb. Squirrel. Success. Squirrel. Are you playing word games? Would you want them? Something like that. 947632, had the people actually listen? Success. 1 has not failed. Success if you should be so picky. Be so picky? What? We're very confused. What does that mean? Listen. Squirrel. Picky. 7, I. Then for some reason, hello backwards. How can we stop nuclear war? We're so tiny. Step. The next tiny step of many. Needn't fear, for you are not destined. Huge step. We're destined for tiny steps? Yes. The start is small, but just as needed. So we 3 are supposed to start it. 4. Oh, orange 2. So we forgot someone in the group. Yes. Listen. Okay, so we 4 are supposed to start things. Yes. We're not destined to stop it, but we start the start. A path to the stars. 947632. Like 947632 does. Like putting their nukes in space. How can we do what they did if we don't know what they did? Instead of unsheathing the sword, they wrote it. If this is so important, and this is a question we get a lot from TikTokers, if this is so important, why can't you just tell us flat out what we're supposed to do? Then the experiment would fail. Doesn't talking to us at all make the experiment fail? Nudge aloud. Does 7 die when the earth dies? Yes. Who created 7? 1. Is 1 God? No. Is purple still supposed to go into politics? Yes. Are you going to tell us exactly what to do? No. Did something create 1? Yes. What was its name? 0. Did something create 0? Yes. What was its name? 1. -1. It corrected itself. So -1 was its name. Should we ask ourselves, should we ask the afterlife question? No. Is there an afterlife? In a way. Will we see each other again? No. Become 7. So there's more to this. I think I'm going to have to do a part 3B. I don't know. There's too much for this one video. To be continued. Okay, so part 3B. We left off in 3A talking about how 7 had said that there's kind of an afterlife. We don't really see each other again in that afterlife because we all become 7, something like that. 7 then lists these names, and this kind of requires a quick story time. So the names are Etta Sue, Wallace, Tom, Jesus, and then he writes the number 7. So prior to talking to 7 for the very first time, we had been playing around with the Ouija board. Well, the whole thing had started with, I think the cable was out or the electricity was out or something. We had nothing to do. So we decided to play poker and play Monopoly and all this stuff. We got bored and eventually we said, let's play with the Ouija board. So we did. And we asked, who's there? Who wants to speak with us? And, Etta Sue came through. And Etta Sue, we asked, when were you born? When did you die? What did you die of? And we got some really clear, coherent answers with math that worked. And the same thing happened with Wallace, and the same thing happened with Tom, and the same thing happened with Jesus. Unfortunately, I have none of these transcripts because later that night is when we had that first conversation with 7. We got so freaked out by the whole backwards thing and just the whole conversation in general and just everything. We ripped up all of the notes. We were very close to burning the Ouija board. So I don't have any of these conversations with these individual, I guess, entities. But 7 seemed to be aware of those conversations. And so that's what those names are about. So Etta Sue, Wallace, Tom, Jesus, 7, all home, but not separate, but 7. And so this is me just explaining pretty much what I just told you about these names. So this has always been very interesting to us. don't really know what it means. Don't know if I believe it, but that's, it's interesting. So we asked, so ghosts are real? A part springing from the whole, and then a G, which I think might have been an error. If Earth dies, so does 7. I guess that's assuming if the Earth dies, we don't get to see each other in the afterlife? No. How do we know that's not just something you're saying to motivate us? Because, it's a pretty scary idea, right? Trust me. How do we do this? Step. But we won't know if we've succeeded until we're dead. So, I think we were saying something like, we won't know if there's an afterlife until we're either in it or not in it. Dead but 7. Boring. Cannot save. How will we know? You will know. Fear not, I am not a harbinger of death, but must listen to all around you. So this is where the poem happens. Let me break this down. Okay, had to make sure I was in frame. Fear not, I am not a harbinger of death, but must listen to all around you. The light around your eyes offset, it doth floweth like a dove, it bleedeth out his heart. He show her love upon his breast, a scabbard punches through, a lark, a lion leaping up to God. Forsooth, the liar little and his crew. So no idea what this means. You can make some inferences. You can put it in, I have put it in ChatGPT, and there's some messages that can be extracted, but I at the end of the day, I really don't know what 7 is talking about. And I really don't know where the line breaks go, because at the time we had no punctuation on the board, and it doesn't really rhyme. So it's hard to know what it was trying to say exactly. So, and because this was like weird poetic language, we got a little concerned. We asked, 7, is this you? In a way, one day if, maybe it's being funny. So I don't know. One day, TH, fun. So after that poem, we really didn't know what to make of any of it. And so we kind of circle back to the assignments that we were each given. And this is purple. My printer ran out of ink. But so purple gets a direct path and we don't. Yes. The steps get bigger. That's why we can't know our path. We're basically asking, can you give us some very exact instructions here? Because it's all very vague. Yes. And then the planchette rolls over goodbye. So it's a very strange ending, and we really never knew what to make of any of it. But that's what brings us the next conversation that takes place July 25th. In my opinion, this is, all of this stuff is really fascinating, the poems and all that. It's really interesting, and the Edisue and the Wallace stuff. It's fascinating, but to me, this is the real conversation where 7 imparts like real concrete information. And so I have gone over this before in my first video, but this is the typed up version. So I will get into that in part 4. And I hope to be able to sit down and do that tomorrow. I know that I'm going very slow for a lot of people. I'm not going at the pace a lot of people want, but I'm a regular human with a lot of crazy stuff going on in my life. So, and it's life in general, I think for everyone is very crazy right now. So I am trying to get through this as quickly as possible. So thank you for being patient with me and tuning in. And I will talk to you very, very soon. Also, my husband has told me that if I continue with all of this, I really should get a new Lisa Frank folder. Unfortunately, I don't have the money for those vintage Lisa Frank folders. I don't know if you guys have ever checked them out on eBay. The ones from when we were kids, they're very, very expensive. I wish I had kept all of those from when I was little. I would be very rich right now. But anyway, this is what I have. I have the dolphins. Hopefully you don't get sick of them. I think they're cute. So anyway, thank you guys, and I'll talk to you soon. Okay, part 4, my 5th video with the transcripts. I'm gonna try to move kind of quickly through this because there's a lot to get through. I'd like to make this just a one-parter. I don't know if I'll have time, but in my opinion, the conversation I'm about to share with you, and I've covered it before, but not like this. This is, I think, the most important conversation we've ever had with 7. So if there's any conversation I hope people pay attention to, it's this one. So It took place July 25th, 2013, and 7 opens with these words, which we looked into later, and we learned that he wrote salvite backwards, which is Latin for hello, and kyrite backwards, which is an ancient Greek kind of greeting, but also goodbye. What does that mean? Hello backwards, which is true. It means hello in a way. In what language? Learn. And we did. How are you? Well. Do you have a job? Really stupid question, but whatever. No. What do you do when you don't talk to us? Feel. I know you already know what questions, we're coming to you with today because we had pre-written questions. Yes. Should we go ahead and ask them? Yes. Why did you say fire yes the first time we spoke? It is coming, fire yes. Stop it. Even if we do stop nuclear war, the sun is going to explode one day. Yes. So isn't it the same result as if, the nukes went off, nuclear war? No. If the steps are taken, 7 lives like 947-632. So we covered that in my previous videos. So 947-632 lives despite their explosion. They still fly. Through the stars, they still fly. Are they still on a planet? No. So what happens to spirits depends on how the earth dies, that conversation that we had about the afterlife. Yes, along. So does 7 start again? Yes. Does the infinite amount of Earths begin again? No. Where does 7 go when 7 dies? Reborn only through love. Like with babies? No. Do you want to ask us any questions? No. He knows everything. Yes. And again, another stupid question. You don't know my favorite color. What's my favorite color? I will leave. Ask better. That's fair. Why will you leave? 5. And then here we guess, is this the last time we can talk to you? Because this is our 5th time contacting you. 5 groups, 3rd contact. We're the 3rd group? Yes. So you're in contact with 4 other groups now? No. And this is where it gets really crazy. This is what I covered in my first video. Contact 1 failed 24,825 days ago. So here I've written it out. If you start from July 25th, 2013, and you subtract 24,825 days, and you account for leap years, you get August 6th, 1945, which is the day America dropped little boy on Hiroshima. So it just keeps coming. Contact 2 succeeded 18,534 days ago. So again, July 25th, 2013 minus 18,534 equals October 27th, 1962, which when you search that date, it's referred to as Black Saturday, which was the most tense day of the Cuban Missile Crisis. It's really fascinating if you look into it. Very scary. What about contact 3? You. Oh, right, okay. Historically, contact 3 fails 29,149 days after contact 1. So, if you take August 6th, 1945, and you add 29,149 days, you get May 27th, 2025. And to keep flexing on us with his math, 7 then says 4,324 days in your future. So, July 25th, 2013 plus 4,324 days equals May 27, 2025. From there, and all that craziness, and again, all of the math is perfect, and that's accounting for leap years. He goes on to say, historically speaking, all save 7, and then we get into some ancient Sumerian stuff. So On 7, and On is we looked this up later, ancient Sumerian god of the heavens. Ninhursag 7. Ninhursag was the ancient Sumerian mountain or mother goddess. And then Sada Imedu 7, which means reach the mountain in ancient Sumerian, according to what we found when we Googled this. So pretty overwhelming, and we had to take a little break and Google things and just take a breather. When we decide to come back, this was the rest of the conversation. 7 says, welcome. And we're saying, I don't know about this. 7, fearful. We talk about the clock ticking down, how scary it is. Yes. How can we have fun and enjoy our lives now? You must. Can you at least sympathize with what we're going through? No. And then we say, okay, let's say we succeed. Isn't someone else just going to turn around and put us back on that same path? Isn't it inevitable? Contact 4. So, we kind of reiterate here, if we succeed, it goes on to contact 4. And if contact 4 succeeds, you'll go to contact 5? Yes. And if contact 5 succeeds, 947-632. You'll be like 947-632? Yes. If you should fail, it shall be done. 7 will be done? Yes. So all of the planets, for the most part, end in the same way. And then this is where 7 brings it back to that planet 741 that explained, it exploded because of an accident, the sun. So 741 accident, the sun exploded. Right, aside from the accidents, there's a pattern? Yes. I am 7. It is my experiment. It is me. You are the experiment? Yes. How can we deal with all of this? How can we go on, with our lives? You are aware of your mortality, so why continue living? Is that a question? Yes. Is that to me personally, to us? I am 7. Should I not wish to? You want to live too? Yes. Humans all arise. I am, I don't know what that means. But why continue trying to save us? Humans are bad for the planets. Yes. A needed evil. But why do you need us? For what? We just ruin everything. The God step. Contact 5. I don't understand. The experiment is just a circle of us messing up and you telling us to stop messing up. A path made crumbles by your hand. It is the duty of us all, the promised land. And then here the topic kind of changes. I don't really remember. Can ghosts choose not to go home to 7? You said they spring from the hole. 7 corrects me. Springing. Okay, springing. Sorry, not spring. Yes. Can there be bad dead? Can there be, bad ghosts? No. Then why are we scared of the dead? Fear. So how come we feel the dead in certain places, but not everywhere? Timing. And then here the planchet starts doing this kind of loopy thing, just around the tips of around every letter. And we asked, why is it doing that? Fun. And we said, oh, you're fun now? How come you were so serious earlier? Important. So wait, is that all of the important stuff that we were allowed to know? Yes. Are you serious? That's all? I am so very sorry. And then good is God, backwards. We say, no more backwards. It's not fun. He says, LOL. We say, do you know what LOL means? And he writes, disgusting. Are we the worst culture that's ever lived? No. Who was the worst? Not right alphabet. 7 then gives us this series of letters here, which I assume if we did have the correct alphabet would reveal, in 7's opinion, the most disgusting culture that's ever lived. I don't know. We bring it back to the assignments. How come purple is able to know their exact path to take? Ease. Can you only communicate through the Ouija board? No. Write, dream, play, sew, sound. Mistook for God. Here we ask if this super religious person that we know, are they talking to you? In a way. He clouds 7. He clouds your messages? Yes. Can everyone tap into 7 if they tried? Yes. And unfortunately, there's going to have to be a 4B. I'm really sorry, guys. I will give you an update. Okay, part 4B. I'm really sorry. I was really hoping that could all fit into one video, but it was just too long for 10 minutes. So I want to get this out quickly so that you all have it, because like I said, I think this is the most important conversation. So, okay, so everyone can tap into 7 if they tried? Yes. Here we circle back to that very religious person that we know who claims to speak in tongues. So blue can tap into you, but God cloudies his ears. Historical timing, green. Timing. Then we say to green, so you're the cornerstone of this. No. 4. And then 7 combines our names in some really cute, fun ways. And it's just like variations, different combos. And we say, oh, you're combining all of our names. Fun. So should we continue with the stuff we're doing, like taking classes after work? Is that a waste of time if there's this like crazy countdown? Learn all you can. It's not a waste of time? No. The countdown is not evil, but be aware of it in order for your armor to be pure. And for some reason, 7 spells armor with a U. And we ask, that poem that you wrote yesterday, what was that? Is it, from a fairy tale? Like, what is it? No. The dog is blue. I say, what? What are you talking about? What does that mean? Fun. Was your poem meant to be funny? No. Murder most foul. Fun. And then, so again, no idea what that means. Can we be funny to you? No. Why not? 7. Listen. And then here 7 lists every other letter in the beginning of the alphabet. A-C-E-G-I-K. We don't know why. Where is the planet that succeeded? Colonies. 7, will we be able to check in once in a while and talk to you? Yes. Will you always talk to us? No. Did you know we'd come back to talk again? Yes. Timing. And then here, we decide, let's shoot our shot. Why not? Can you give us the winning lottery numbers? 714, fun, 2128. I don't know if we ever tried these numbers. I don't think it works with, I don't know. But listen, if you end up playing some variation of these numbers and you win, TikTok friends, you got to share your pot with me, okay? That's the rule. Just kidding. But not really. Do you know the future? No. Historical future. And then we circle back because we're really trying here. If we had money, we could quit our jobs and then we could focus all our energy on saving 7. And then we get another little poem. Apathy grows with no limitations, for your armor must be battle tested. So we have to keep working our terrible jobs. Yes. To struggle is to grow is to learn is to find victory. And we say, oh, wow, that's really good. That should be on a t-shirt. Yes. To saunter in a mire of false presence is to drown in self-fat falsehood. Whatever that means. The planchette then goes over the board slowly, doesn't land on anything, and we say goodnight 7, and then 7 says goodnight, and we sign off, and that's it. So that is it for part 4B. I'm really sorry I couldn't fit it all into one video, but there's just a lot to get through. But I personally think that is the most important conversation, and if you guys focus on nothing else, like I've already said, I really hope these dates and this math is so mind-blowing, and please, I hope you just take the time, look into this. I don't know what any of this means. I just think education in this situation, with everything going on in our world, all we can do, and 7 encourage that, learn all you can, just to try to prevent this, whatever this is. And when you read into these events, it clearly seems like very important people chose peace over violence. They chose to de-escalate instead of choosing to escalate. And I've kind of tried to live my life doing that ever since having these conversations, and choosing love and choosing fun, and just I don't know what I'm talking about. I just hope focus on this. The poems and everything are fascinating, the riddles are fascinating, and all the languages and stuff, but to me this is the clearest information we have ever received from 7, and this is everything that 7 is trying to prevent, from what I can tell. So I don't know if anything gets spread, this is the conversation that I hope gets spread. So anyway, thank you as always for tuning in. There is more, lots more. And I will try to be fast with part 5. But thank you guys so much, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Hi guys, so once again, I'm very, very sorry for the delay with these videos. I know it takes me forever and people are getting kind of frustrated with me. But you know, I like everyone else, I have a lot of life stuff going on. If you also live in America, you know that every day is like a dumpster fire. So I have been meaning to sit down and record this for well over a week now, and things just keep popping up, but I'm here. I want to continue. I still have pages and pages of conversations to get through. So let's get started. So the next time we speak with Seven is on July 26, 2013. We say hello, and Seven responds with a bunch of 1s and 0s, which we assumed was binary, but we don't speak binary, so we had no idea what he was trying to say. We say, is this Seven? Seven says yes, and then it gives us more 1s and 0s. Again, at the time, we're just taking down each individual number and hoping we're getting it correct. Obviously, looking back, it seems as though we did not get it correct the first time. It started over again, and then finally it tries for a third time and seems like we transcribed it correctly this go round. If you compare, it looks like we're missing a 0 here, so the 0 appeared down here. And we didn't have ChatGPT back in those days, so we had to Google this and play around and translate and retranslate. And so eventually we did figure out that it was backwards. And when you break up the numbers, HELLO, which Seven then did give us. But anyway, we said, should we talk to you every day? No. And that was kind of the end of that conversation. It was very brief. So the next time we spoke with Seven was August 7th, 2013. And pretty much from here on out, the conversations with Seven, including the binary stuff, it's all really fascinating, but it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. It's very cryptic. It's very abstract. The language is very, heightened and flowery. I'll share it because people are interested in hearing it, but I don't know really what it has to do with saving Seven. I don't know. You guys let me know if any of this means something to you. But so he starts off with Lancastrian saints, of whom I am told, who you, my dear loves, nor reckless so bold. So there's some misspellings. And then I put some letters in parentheses here because I wasn't confident that was the letter that the planchette went to. Is this an iambic poem? Yes. Fun. We don't know what to do. We're at this point in our lives, we're in a very low place, and the previous messages from Seven are kind of overwhelming. Be strong. We say it's hard. No. Fill your heart of wisdom. How do we handle our jobs? We're drowning, we're really going through a whole lot. Bite the bit. Forlorn it may seem, but this now gives future strength. The muscle tears. One of us asks, isn't that bad when that happens, when a muscle tears? No. And I actually learned later that is actually how you build muscle, is that it's a series of micro tears in your muscle that rebuild and regrow stronger. So, O you of such small woe, I envy you, but fear not, one. Fear not, one. The one is a placeholder. Exclaim. Fear not, one. So here I kind of inferred that Seven wants an exclamation and wants maybe some punctuation. So we write on the board this punctuation, and it works. Seven says, fear not, with an exclamation. Good. Then here we wonder, how would the punctuation have made things clearer in earlier conversations? Ask better. And we say, we're really struggling right now, and it's just really hard to do all this. How do we focus on saving the world if we can hardly keep ourselves afloat? What do you need? Freedom and time to travel and have fun, to buy fun. And we say, yeah, with money, it's easier. A lot of people get to travel and we don't. We're just kind of stuck here working. Jealousy. What should we do? Green, pink, swim. Swim. Okay, but what are we supposed to do? Like an occupation. An occupation? This is what you crave? We say, no, we don't crave it. We need it. We need jobs. So why ask? Because we need them. Why are we just supposed to keep working forever? For now. Should we at least find new jobs? We were kind of in a dead end. You guys are learning a lot of personal stuff about me. This is embarrassing. We were in dead end jobs and stuff was pretty rough, okay? Yes. Is path to learn. Swim. Pink, swim. What does that mean? I7, I'm telling you what to do. And then here we reveal that we've been fighting a lot and how can we be happy in our relationship? Learn together. The next step for pink will occur in the water. Swim. One of us asks about, I guess one of us had a feeling, a knot in our stomach that day. I don't really know what was going on. A start of what is to come. But it feels foreboding. Yes. Is it about orange? Fear not, for I am not a harbinger of death. So this is the second time we're seeing that being used, harbinger of death. And then here I'm just explaining that the planchette was moving really quickly and fluidly. Neither are you. Is it a feeling about me? No. What is the feeling? For the day to come or not. Alas, the little squirrels did run and bite. Here I'm just saying that the planchette was kind of looping in a weird way. So the knot in my stomach was anxiousness for my next step? Yes. Swim. Are you saying this because we used the word drowning earlier? No. Did you influence our thoughts? Can you do that? There are a great pool of tools to use. Be calm yourselves to study. Return to me in 1 year. Learn. Pink, swim backwards. So swim is backwards. And then we look at the clock at this point, it's midnight, and the date is now August 8th, 2013. And of course, we did not listen to 7. We returned 2 days later. And this is what 7 shared with us. And I'm kind of hesitant to share this because I know that the Sumerian language or the Sumerian culture, for some reason, is connected to a lot of spooky, weird stuff. And I'm kind of afraid people are going to go crazy with this. I don't know why. Anyway, let's keep going. 7 says, on Lil purple, Anki pink, Ninhursag orange, on green. And so I think we paused here to Google and we realized, oh, he's doing the Sumerian gods thing again. On Lil, I think, has something to do with wind. Anki has to do with water. Ninhursag is like a mother figure, and then On is like the king of the heavens or something like that. Descent. Humans descend from Sumer. And then I don't know if this is like the wrong alphabet again. I don't know what that means. Should we Google that? No. My language. Bus. Ask. No clue what that means. Here, I guess we're talking about our relationship again. Why do we fight so much? Nature of the race. Are we supposed to be together? It matters not. But if we weren't together, we wouldn't pursue this mission. Green and purple would unite. So they would go forward with the mission, but the other one of us wouldn't. They would fail. And then here one of us says, I want to hear him speaking like really heightened language and not dumbed down stuff. And he does. And again, I have no idea what this means. To stir the reckoning of they, our houses, of ill-forged glory, upon the night road, pull on full sail, down the ways of founding. Simple. Are these answers? Like, is there something, does this mean something? For those who could understand them. We can't understand your riddles. Not yet. Are they riddles? In a way. Lancastrian saints again. For some reason here we ask about making friends. I'm assuming for the mission. I don't know. Bars. You condone bars? No. Squirrel. And then we finish it for him and interrupt and we get it, squirrels. No, you did such a good job. We ask this stupid question for some reason. What is your favorite song? She loves you, yeah, yeah, yeah. We say, really, the Beatles? No. Fun. The Earth song. Can we hear that? Yes. How? Learn. And then here it gets weird and there's a whole lot of crazy stuff. There's going to have to be a part 2. So 5B, I'm really sorry. It's just going to take time to get through this. Anyway, guys, I'll try to be faster. I'm really sorry. I will talk to you very soon. So for anyone who's been watching the news the past couple of days, I think we can all agree that the current global political climate is a little terrifying. And with that as my inspiration, I have made it my goal to post a video a day from here on out in order to get through these transcripts. And like I said yesterday, from here on out, it's all very cryptic and strange. It makes very little sense to me. But I figure there's even a slight chance that anyone watching can make sense of it, or if it has a particular message for anyone watching, I figure it's worth a shot. All right, so jumping back in, we're starting off strong with a shining example of our intellect. Let's play a game. Please keep in mind, we were, again, very young, very stupid. Yes, what game? Truth or die? 7, don't say that, it's scary. You can be scary sometimes. Yes, fun. Ask better. Really good advice that we continue not to take. I just wanted to have some fun. Squirrels just want to have fun. And then the poetry begins. If out upon me never felt a lash of anger, nor rep v is ute, a wall of water made extend, a man who faceless is a friend, a martyr maid, a damsel dear, a rig, a moor, a dainty deer. A fine rotunda marks a few, a lovely lady bids adieu. A sprightly courtyard fends the way, a knightly courtier meets the day. Fun, V is you, R-E-P-T-E. So pausing here quickly just to kind of explain this. This is kind of the beginning of something that we see in later conversations where, in my interpretation, 7 is trying to have us spell it as R-E-P. So he's spelling repute, but where the U is a V. So coming back down here, we see that it's trying to make it, to my understanding, making it clear that it's spelling it R-E-P-V-T-E, which I don't know why. Again, it's something that we see in later conversations. The only thing that I can think of is I think in Latin, a U is typically represented as a V. I'm really not sure. Maybe someone can help me out with that. So 7 continues. The list it rancid with sinews of war. And I have Googled that before, and I believe this is a quote from, I want to say like Cicero. I'm not sure, but I believe that the sinews of war is money, according to this old quote. Again, maybe someone can help me out with that. 7 continues. Another more simple, quitope. I don't know. Again, the U is a V. Another. And then here begins a poem about one of us. So when it's a poem about one of us, I've made it, I've italicized it, and we know it's about one of us because 7 says that later. So anyway, the first poem for one of us: to forge a Titan's trappings long asleep, to find a lonesome lover's coils, a lark, a loon who crones they not a peep, a mighty seed who drips down on my soil, who everlasting till their time be gone, a person of weekly toil struts the mire. A fire in their dreams alike the dawn, must preach the adder's words, deaf though the choir. The lightly springing fails now from their throat, a word from heaven now would change poor luck, but truth, it seems, must act now as a moat, and still the wicked trap them in the muck. Fortuitous now they shout to heaven's gate, Alack the fire dreams, ignore the date. So I have the words in brackets. That's me changing the pronouns just to, again, I'm trying to protect identities and redact personal information. So that's what that's about. And we ask, is that a poem for green? Yes, fun. And we say, how can we know if these poems are for fun or if they have an important message? I will say, the one from that other conversation about a lark or a lion, what was that about? Hath fun. But that's too hard. How can we understand? Bleached out bones you must write down. And then we say, okay, write a poem for pink now. And that begins, rid me of the pains I feel each day, O soothsaying person, whom no man shall believe. Away, a wanderer who's searching for the way, who sifting through the sand must forge a sieve. For resolute we find the minds of men, ignore the keepsakes of their mothers in the womb, together learn the lessons of a friend, or else be doomed to find the mind a tomb. Until the mourners flap into the dust, alone you'll sadly find you cannot win, a bleeding heart who tills now in the rust of water kept too still, refused to swim. And then as, because again, this takes forever. This is letter by letter. It's a very long and arduous process. A lot of the times we can't keep up with what it is we're writing down. So as we're reading it back, we're saying it out loud. One of us pronounces it sieve in the typical way that you pronounce that. And Seven corrects us and says sieve. So, Seven continues to say a year, learn. And then we say, if we're supposed to come back in a year, why are you talking to us now? Meaningless drivel. And I feel like I should pause there and say, a lot of people ask, why didn't you share this sooner? Why aren't you sharing the rest of the transcript quicker? Because Seven itself has said this is meaningless drivel. So, we've taken a lot of this with a grain of salt. And we continue, we ask, is it okay for us to talk to you once in a while? Not really, but if you must. So, Seven's made it very clear, it really does not want us returning to it. It kind of has delivered, seemingly is what it's saying, it's delivered the most important message, move on, get out of here, Why not really? Seven replies, time better used learning. And we say, well, we need fun sometimes, and talking to you is better than watching TV. Yes, swim. And then another poem begins. List out their demons, many if truth be told. A man they needn't find, for they hold dear. Alike to love, a mat upon their soul, to hunt out soiled singing in their ear. And then we read it back at this point. And Seven clarifies that it's S-O-L-E. And we say, yes, that's how we wrote it. Soul like your foot, not soul like, your personhood. Whose poem is this? Purple's psalm. And then it continues. To hew out rusting razor blades of heart, a likeness of a father to reprieve, to find a swollen dusty place to start, to further down the darkness of the stream. For Purple's namesake fears to pay the cost, to let their light burn bright amongst the dark, to live as though they won amongst the lost, to lighten up the load despite the mark, to run and hide, to hide and run from sense, offense, a prison to reside, hiding out from solemn providence, a shield from God, a home they shall reside. A long done ride from this they may choose, a cheerful hideaway from truthful news, until the day comes soon. And then we say, sorry, I lost my train of thought because I got swept up in how crazy this is. We say we should sign off and say goodnight. And then Seven says, unleash the wind. And I believe it rolled over a goodbye for us. So I've run out of time once again. Part 6, we'll get into the next conversation in which Seven opens up with some backwards Portuguese and then a poem about orange. So like I said, this is crazy. I sound like a nutcase. I don't know what any of this means. If you guys have any ideas or clues or I don't know, help me out. And thanks as always for tuning in. Bye. Okay, part 6. This conversation takes place August 15th, 2013, so just a few days after the previous video's conversations. And it opens with 7 spelling out AIDMOB, which when we Googled, we discovered spells good day in Portuguese backwards. 7, real. You're real? Yes. It's been a long time, 7, we joke, because it's only been 5 days. No. Can we have a poem for Orange? And 7 gives us a poem. O heightened life on which there is loss, all truth on table, all lies on tablet. A sick sullen harbor tufted in moss, a frighted fat sailor who marks a habit. Dear parent of saviors, now back to the keep. Fixate on the angel of death, sweep X10. Rapture-bound, beguiled, strangers' small health. Exceed your father's past undear, to a memory foolish atop your pained head, till misfortune be gone along with the fear, till the mud in your mind goes away with the dead. Quick be light, old dove of the Lord, or else dream as you do of discord. Ninhursag. So our first question after getting this poem was what is sweep X10? 10 times. X2 is sweep, sweep. So if you remember in my most recent conversation with 7, it wrote out TikTok times 5, X5. So I knew that meant to write out TikTok 5 times. I know that because of this poem. So coming back up here, it would read, Dear parent of saviors, now back to the keep. Fixate on the angel of death. Sweep, 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 sweep. Sweep, 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 sweep. And then rapture-bound, beguiled, stranger's small health. So we asked 7, what does sweep mean? They needn't bind themselves, consumed by the wrong problems. What did you mean by fixate on the angel of death? As they do. I, 7, I am no game. Swim, allows, listen, lead through love. I, 7, I give too many answers. Swim, run, relinquish, listen, leave, lead through love. Simple, steps for pink. Yes. I, 7, I would like you to begin. Begin to save the world. Save yourself before 7. One begets the other. Then we ask, what is it that we should learn exactly? Why should we value the knowledge of the past and of ancient people? To have not a purse is an empty coffer. And that was it for that conversation. So moving right along, for some reason we came back to the board the next day, August 16th, and 7 writes out backwards, hello there. We ask, are you angry at us? As you do. Never. Always. Sad 7. What did you mean by purse? Because we Googled that and it didn't make sense to us. Learn it. BDFHJL. Is everything you say in code? You did this before with ACEGIK. I think that's a typo. But again, he did this in a previous conversation where it's providing every other letter in the alphabet. One to which none could break. Needn't attempt. Fun. Is this all more simple than we make it? Yes. Return to the source answers not your questions. I am the source of the question. Mindless poems, a mere mirror. They say nothing. At this point, I am a mere game. Focus on drivel, which is why you return as you do. I am a game of distraction at this point. No, we don't think of you as a game. I am one. Well, what should we do to begin? More apostles. They're going to think we're insane, 7. So, the people that we did tell in our lives, we chose them very carefully because we were afraid of how crazy this all looks. So this was the beginning of us realizing that we might have to tell people about 7, but it would make us look crazy, which it does. Distract, manipulate, teach, train, save us. Few do, help 7. And so, just coming back up here for a second, I kind of touched on this in my previous video, but, 7 is referring to its own messages here as drivel and saying it's mindless. They say nothing, there's no point in coming and overanalyzing all these words. And that's been my hesitation, I guess, in sharing anything beyond those dates, because I truly feel that the dates of the contact groups are the most important things that 7 has to convey, because 7 has so often since then told us, basically, this is all a bunch of baloney, okay? You can keep talking to me, it's just silliness, and you need to be out there saving the world and doing what I'm telling you to do instead of sitting here reading and rereading the transcript. So if that explains why I've waited so long to share this with people, that's why. Because, this thing is kind of telling me that all of this stuff is just, mindless poems. So I don't know. So then we asked 7 if he could just give us one answer that's just straightforward, not vague, just one. We'll go away. We won't speak to you for a year. We're just begging you at this point. Ask without fun, a hard nudge, because 7 has said before that a nudge was allowed. So we deliberate for a while. We try to figure out what is the best question to ask. We remind each other, don't ask anything because you don't want that to count. 7 then says, I will blind myself to you for, I wish to be surprised. And one of us stupidly asks, you can do that? Yes. And we realize, oh no, I think that was the one question that counted and that we messed up. And we start begging, no, that didn't count, did it? Yes. And then the planchette stops moving and we can't get an answer from 7 until January 25th, 2014. So I don't know what prompted us to come back to the board in January, and I don't know why 7 responded to us after saying that it wasn't going to and that it was going to blind itself to us, probably because he was just, making that up for fun. Who knows? It's all very, very mysterious. But anyway, what's really interesting about this is typically when we're recording it, we just kind of do it horizontally in the note, following the notebook lines. For some reason, I think I was the one who did it this time. As I was recording the letters, when I realized we had a complete word, I went down to the next line. And so I wrote each individual word on its own line, which isn't that interesting until we read through this. So let me take you through. BQ, damage lister. So this is something that 7 says later on as, I guess, a way of saying that we've recorded something incorrectly. So almost like telling us start over, you've damaged the list. Yes. Soon will I move such want in man, swift wings it makes, such will I meander. In a way, we are all 7 swim. So, I'd asked some questions here. I thought you were blind and deaf. I meander. Is this 7? In a way, we are all 7 swim. So it wasn't until years later that I was reading through this again, and I, for some reason, looked at the first letter of every word, and I realized that it spells swim over and over again. So S-W-I-M, 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 and then at the bottom it goes in reverse, S-W-I-M. So that's all for 6A. Stay tuned for 6B tomorrow and more mysterious 7 riddles. Thanks for watching. All right, so picking up where we left off with part 6B, more swimming fun with 7. We say, we don't know what swim means exactly. Make it work, squirrel. We thought you were blind and deaf to us for a year. Yes, I am no god. I am not 7. Who are you then? Steve. Now this is where it gets pretty trippy, pretty silly. And this is kind of what makes us think that 7 could just be like a ghost trolling us, because this thing starts pretending to be other entities on the board. I mean, maybe they are real entities. I don't know. I'll leave it up to you, but I'm pretty sure this is 7 being a goofball. Oh, what's your last name? Josh. That's not a last name. Yes. So Steve, Pink should just go jump in a pool. Why not? Sure. Here we're going to change the topic. We were at an art museum. We looked in the Sumerian section for clues. Did we miss anything? Yes. I am not 7. Springing. Is this Steve? No. Steve is, in a way, 7. 7 is the hole or the hole that I am springing from. I forgot my name. Q. It was Assyrian, by the way. So I'm assuming this is referencing the art that we were looking at. We thought it was Sumerian and it was actually Assyrian. So anyway, nothing missed though. Fun. So we can talk to 7 whenever we want now? If 7 wishes. Steve, are you spooky? Kill them all. Steve, are you joking? Probably. What does swim mean? Ask 7. When did you die? Steve replies, I don't know. So long, maybe very long ago. And then a very different kind of personality seems to come through. May I wonder something? Sure. Hello. How old are you? We answer, wow, so young. How did you die? This thing starts pretending as though we are the ghost on the Ouija board and it is the human, which is just about the craziest thing I've ever heard of. We're not dead, we're alive. Are you evil? No. Are you a spirit? No. What is your name? We tell it our names. What's your name? Tiffany? Hello. How did you die? We're not dead. It's okay. Okay, how old are you? 7. You're 7 years old? Me and Steve, 7.5. Where are you from? Virginia. What's your last name? Josh. So you and Steve are brother and sister. Husband. GI. Hello. Tiffany? Who is this? Here it stops being funny, gets a little spooky. Spinner. Okay, what's your story, Spinner? Languish and torrid misery, with misspellings. What's your last name? Spinner. What's your first name? Josh. It's funny again. So do you know Tiffany and Steve? Who? Oh, that guy. And then here, kind of playing into the goofiness of it, we say, do something scary. Boom. Can we talk to 7 now, please? Yes. Right now? Yes. Hey, stupid. I mean, like, what is this? What's happening? Reagan. Q. And then here we ask if it's referencing The Exorcist, because I think that the girl's name was Reagan. It says no. And then we realize that it's perhaps backwards for nager, which is swim in French. 7 then writes swim backwards. And then for some reason, the planchet goes up to the sun symbol that's printed on the Ouija board. And we don't know what that means. We just say, we're losing our minds. 7, what does all this mean? Good. Some random letters with seemingly the word Ouija in there. Swim. What does that mean? It is second most obvious. 1, listen. 2, swim. Swim. 3, polis, which I think is maybe the Latin root for politics. 4, create. For someone so literal, it's no riddle. Then here we have a lot of back and forth and discussing amongst ourselves, and we're kind of saying that there's a lot of different kinds of swims. And what do you mean? Like literally a bathing suit with a chlorine pool, etc. Swim, swim. You missed the obvious. Swim. Is pink the only one not on track with their mission? Yes. Green is prepping. Slow but correct. Don't overthink it for once. Once you start, you shall trounce them all. Swim. So swim. Swim. Lazy. Swim. And we say, it's a weird verb. It's like the word fly. It can mean a lot of things. You cannot fly. Should pink go to the pool in, and we name a location? Not that one. It is wrong. A 1 for dreams. Swift. How is green succeeding? Reading. Purple? Vetting. Orange? Listening. How is pink failing? Not swimming. What pool? Mine, idiot. Swim. Not everything is the magic code. And we say, that's mean, you hurt my feelings. Sorry. I said a year. I am a bit mad myself. The planchette then rolls over goodbye, and of course we don't listen. We come back a little bit later. 7. If a go says front, lister damage. So remember, that's what it tends to say when we've written it incorrectly. Fun. If a god says from heaven on high to swim, is it normal to jump to other possible other meanings? Or does one little squirrel jump in? When should they go swimming? I would prefer some time before the nuclear holocaust. And then we start to ask, how on earth does getting in a pool prevent the nuclear holocaust? And as we're asking that, 7 says very sarcastically, it's a step. And then we ask, kind of changing the topic, I guess, how come we have to talk to you through a Ouija board? Why can't you just talk? If you heard me speak, your life would lose meaning. I am 7, a drug of sorts. Terrible things done in my name. And then this is where things kind of take a turn. And I don't know if TikTok is going to pull my video for saying this word, but I think it's important to say it. And we asked, did you talk to Nazis? Yes. Hitler? Yes. What did he say? He asked if he would be loved. And then the planchette rolls over the word Ouija at the top of the board, and it stops on the J and the A, which means yes in German. Did you give him military advice? I snowed. Now this, we've never been sure, was it referencing the Battle of the Bulge, which I think snow played a big part of that, or as TikTok has pointed out to me, the 7 spelled backwards is neves, which is apparently a word that means snow in a lot of languages. So I don't know. Did you tell him your name was 7? No. Friend. I still don't understand. I thought you were blind and deaf. I am. Then how can we talk to you? Because you dropped by. We played on the Ouija board before and you weren't there. This time it was for me though. And then we say, can you forgive us? It is hard to stay mad at little things. Have you spoken to other people this way? Yes. What did you call yourself? Could we Google it? Because we were basically looking to see if there's any other written record of conversations that sound like what we have here. No. And then it rolls over Ouija again at the top of the board. No. The previous ager's love of the number 7. So a lot of people have pointed out that 7 is an important number to a lot of cultures throughout time. This is 7, I guess, kind of addressing that. I always come up 7. Previous agers, the past. So how did Hitler talk to you if he didn't have a board? He did. How did you talk to the other contacts? 1 seance, 2 Ouija. How else can you talk to us? Inside. How can we know it's not us doing this? You cannot. Be stronger, the muscle tears. Rolls over goodbye. That's all I have time for. The next conversation mentions Ukraine. Okay, part 7. I think that looking at the views on my latest videos, I think that TikTok might be cutting my reach. I'm assuming because of some of the language, some of the subject matter that I'm discussing. So if you haven't seen those videos, if TikTok is like kind of pulling them from your feed, be sure to watch those so that you have all the information. But we're on part 7, and this took place March 2nd, 2014. And what's interesting about that is this is, I think, like a week or so after the invasion of Crimea. So we ask, are you there, 7? And the plancha just kind of sits still for a while without a response until 7 writes, sitting ducks. What does that mean? Not much now. Sieve, or Civ. We feel like the whole universe is fighting against us right now. Again, this is a low point in our lives. Yes. Are you the reason we're not getting different jobs? That's the only thing we asked about during this time. I'm very frustrated with our past selves. Jobs. The bird long-necked. You sieved, not sure. It begins soon. Rush to swim. Long-necked bird, a heron is what we guessed. No, a crane. Yes. Ukraine? Yes. What is the point of all of this, or something like that? The point is now. And then a long string of letters that I've never been too sure where to break up, because you can see there are some words in there, or like pieces of words, and I've just never known how to break it up. What does that mean? Victor, mine, the red dream, last sun. What language is that? Lictian. Again, no idea what this means. If anyone watching does, help me out. This is stupid. It's all just dumb riddles. Here, we're a little frustrated. We feel this pressure to make sense of all this and do something, but we can't understand the message half the time. So we're a little frustrated. Sad 7. Maybe this thing doesn't deserve to be saved, one of us says. Again, frustrated. True. Neither are you. Here we kind of rant for a bit that this is, how frustrating this is, and that it would just, if 7 really needed our help, it would just tell us what to do and stop playing games. Ask. I really don't know what the question is here. Something about it joking too much. Fun. A good sense of humor. One of us asks, where should I swim? Anywhere. But you said not the one in redacted location. A joke. It's not funny. Yes. So any pool. No. Billiards are waterless. Oh, this guy's got jokes. One of us says something about jokes and us all dying. Death is the punchline. One of us remarks, that's a good title. Yes. One of us says, 7, you're being dumb. Smarter than you, with the wrong version of then. Here we say something about a guy that we know. Again, identity redacted. Suffice to say, we weren't very fond of this guy. The Fool's Savior. Serious crane in the neck. And then here a poem begins, I believe. Steps, shattered bricks. A step, a poem, a folly. Flayed truce. All fight disrepair. A dragon re-arises, a friend to the bear. The pyramids crack, Euphrates to the stone, until I split open, left nothing but bone. And, there's a lot to break down in all of this. Steps, being spelt as Steppes, I believe has some geographical significance. The Euphrates River, the pyramids, and of course, the imagery of and the metaphor of the dragon and the bear. Interesting stuff. So if anyone wants to weigh in on that, please do. Anyway, here I'm just explaining that we, at this point, we're kind of just saying we need proof. We need proof that we're not the ones doing this. And, again, we mentioned the lotto because we're idiots. 7 says, swim first. You do your part, then I shall do mine. One of us asks, do I have to swim tomorrow? No. Lazy. Can you give Green something incredible to believe all of this? Because again, we're leaving room. We're taking everything with a grain of salt. Page 96. Fun. In what book? They will find it. How? They will. Do they own the book? No. What happens after Pink swims? A step. Share Green. And then this word that I have Googled it so many times because it looks like it's a word backwards, but I have never been able to figure it out. So again, if anyone has any ideas, please let me know, because that is it for that conversation. So thank you guys for tuning in. Sorry this one was kind of short. I will follow up tomorrow with part 8. Thanks.